Now his father, King David, had never disciplined him at any time, even by asking, "What are you doing?" Adonijah was a very handsome man and had been born next after Absalom. Adonijah took Joab, son of Zeruiah, and Abiathar the priest into his confidence, and they agreed to help him become king. But among those who remained loyal to David and refused to support Adonijah was Zadok the priest, Benaniah, son of Jehoiada, Nathan the prophet, Shimei, Rai, and David's personal bodyguard. So we're going to stop right there. And that's all the way up to verse number 8. As we can see so far, David is pretty old by now. If we know anything about David, David was a king. And then at one point, Absalom came through and he was trying to take over. And now Adonijah is trying to do the exact same thing. And so what he did was he tried to make it look like David gave him the okay to be the next king. So he doesn't hire all these people to lead. Y'all know how they lead when they have somebody going out before the chariot and different things. That's what he did. And so, like I said, he was trying to make himself be the king. And as you can see, David never really disciplined his children. And this is one of them that he never really disciplined. And if we look back, and David never really disciplined his children. And this is one of them that he never really disciplined. And if we look back at David and his history, most of the time you don't really hear like things going on with how David handling himself as a father. You hear mostly about how David was handling himself as the king, or him being somebody's husband, because David had a whole lot of wives, and really he didn't even really need them. A lot of times he just saw beautiful women and he was like, well, I'll go get them. I want to marry them. I'll go get them, bring them here. I want them to be with me. So if they wasn't his wife, they was his concubine. And so when it came down to his children, he never really did what he was supposed to do as a father when it came down to his children. And like even with it, they let you know right here, David never even questioned Adonijah and the things that he was doing. So now we're going to go ahead on to verse number 9. Yes, sir.
This was one thing I said earlier that this was part of the story I didn't know about. I did not know that he had another son named Adonijah, and I didn't even know that Adonijah set himself up before Solomon was appointed king. I thought it was David straight to Solomon.
And that's why a lot of times when you begin to read all these stories, sometimes what I used to do, I can remember what I used to do. I say, hey, people talk about different stories. And then I would look up that story and read about it. But I wouldn't read into details about what was really going on. I would just read and see, oh, that's what they were talking about. When you begin to read the whole story of certain books and different things, you'll find out sometimes it's not always good to start reading a book from the middle. It's best if you read it from the beginning, because then you'll see what's going on. You'll know what's going on. You'll know what's happening in the book. And yeah, that's exactly what Adonijah did. He was trying to be the king, but nobody asked him to be. Nobody appointed him to be. Nobody even anointed him to be. And and you know what? That's how a lot of people are. Nobody really anointed or appointed them to be in leadership positions or pastors or apostles, whatever you want to call it. A lot of times, some people is like, well, I'm just going to go start my own church. And some people just go out and they go start their own church. They go start their own thing and try to run it just like how they want to run it. They set it up themselves, just like Adonijah did. He set it up himself, and then he tried to go out there before him, hold on the Jenkins and all of their church. But he tried. He did just what a lot of people these days and times do. They try to set up things, and then they go and run out and do it by themselves, and nobody appointed them. And sometimes because people are afraid, I'll say afraid. You may not be, but I'll say some people are afraid to mention something about it, or they're afraid to say something about it. They're afraid to say, well, who your overseer? Who anointed you to be the pastor or the apostle over here? Who who set you up and different things. Some people are just afraid to do it. They're afraid to ask the question. But it's best to ask. For me personally, I wouldn't want to get up under somebody who I just recently saw you were just regular in church. And now a couple of months later, you got a whole church. You got set up a whole building and you running with things. And I'm looking like, well, who sent you? Isn't there a scripture in the Bible that say that? Or who sent you? You be looking at like, yeah, who sent you? Who sent you out like that, man? We can't be afraid to ask. Me, y'all should want to too. Ask, well, who you got to? Who you got to answer to? Who your leader is? We don't want to just do things just dry and lonesome. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say, just to add on, is that a lot of people are building up ministries off, or trying to build up their ministry off their popularity.
Right.
A lot of people are popular for, preaching, a certain style of preaching, or, how it's more of an entertainment value than anything else. And a lot of people try to build a ministry off that. A ministry off that can't last. It's like fads and those things that are just temporary, where people get into it for a minute, like them little, what was them little finger spinners, whatever you call them, little fidget, whatever you call them. Everybody had one. They were everywhere. You couldn't go to the gas station. It was everywhere. You look on the street, some people dropping them, broken all over. It was everywhere. Now, I don't know the last time I seen it. But at one time, it was like you had to have it. It's just like the church had to have it. Everybody just spinning it. It's interesting for about every bit of 5 minutes. And that's how a lot of people's ministry is. It's interesting for every bit of about 5 minutes, because it's built on things that are just so frivolous, so temporary. And we have to realize that if God is doing it, it's done with longevity. It's done correct. It's done where it's going to have a lifespan. A lot of people, you got these popcorn churches. They pop up and then they fall. They pop up and then they fall. It's like a house of cards. It's interesting to look at, but after a while, it's the slightest breeze, a cough, a sneeze can knock it down. And when we forget that, and some people are living. Some people leave out of their ministry that they done been getting fed real good because their friend pop up and feel like they want to pastor now and I can do it, and then I'm buck and kick against everything that's going on in the church. And they Jerry Maguire them, hey, who's coming with me? And so some of us, the Bible says he'll fool the very elect if possible. So it's very possible, if you allow it to be possible, that you can be fooled and you leave out your church and you realize, man, what I did. I didn't mess up. I didn't jump on the bandwagon. I seen one church some years ago. There was a prophetess that was very popular in the area. She would come. She wasn't from here. She would come and preach to different churches. And, always got a good crowd. Always got a little excitement. And one day, she decided to establish a church here. I guess she figured them people be liking when I come there. I'm gonna do my thing. So she came and started a church and had a decent little amount of people following up, a good little bit that she done pulled out of different people's churches, and they follow her. She churched for maybe a year, and then she just decided to quit and dip, and it left all the people had to kind of go around and try to find a new church. I mean, she left, disappeared. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, I know 2 women of God that did that. The way they was churching real good, and they'll say it was like, well, this ain't for me, or this, whatever God, whatever they say God told them to do. But they left the people high and dry, as you say. So we got to be careful to make sure that we where God is supposed to be. And then as leaders, we also have to be careful that we're not so hungry for followers, for people to be with us, to try to build up what we think the ministry is supposed to be, that we forget, or we're not looking at what God is doing. We're not giving space for God to really be God in God's house, you know, and we'll throw on a program, a revival or whatever that we say God told us to put on, but when the people don't come out, you feel like you mad or you throwing off or you upset because the people ain't show up. So we gotta understand that, this is God's house. We don't just it's just not something nice to call it. It's what it actually is. So we gotta always let God be God in his house and know that we are in God's will. So nobody can drag us out of the ministry we in. I've never been myself personally, I just never been tempted to just follow somebody just because. People try to prophesy you out of your church or just try to ease you off of that, what God has told you. If you know God has told you, you got to stand regardless of what it looks like. I say that for pastors who might be, building a ministry from scratch. You got to stand regardless of what it looks like. It don't always look so great and grand and prosperous. And I'm weary of very leery of people that, it looks so marvelous right off the bat. I'm where the struggle at, where the building at. Because even no matter what the building is, there's a point at the beginning where it don't look like much. There's a point at the beginning where some work has to be put in to lay that foundation, put that structure together, build that skeleton before you start seeing the beautiful siding and the shrubbery and all the things that make the house look beautiful. Before somebody comes in and put up the crown moldings and touch the paint up and put in the really nice faucets, you got to have some dirt and dust from construction going on. You got to have some real work being put in and some skilled laborers putting it together. Amen.
We're going to go ahead on to verse number 9. We're going to read a few verses. When you read your verse, I need you to expound on your verses as much as possible. If you're having difficulties, just go ahead and ask. Don't just ask because you don't want to expound on it, but ask help for help if you really need it. So we're going to start here and then we're just going to go right around. We're going to read like 9 through 14, Sister Jasmine. And Adonijah slew sheep and oxen and fat cattle by the stones of the hill, which is by in Rogel, and called all his brethren, the king's sons, and all the men of Judah, the king's servants. But Nathan the prophet and Benaiah and the mighty men and Solomon his brother he called not. Wherefore Nathan spake unto Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, saying, Hast thou not heard that Adonijah the son of Haggith doth reign, and David our Lord knoweth it not? Now therefore come, let me, I pray thee, give thee counsel that thou mayest save thine own life, and the life of thy son Solomon. Go and get thee in unto King David, and say unto him, This not thou, my lord, O king, swear unto thine handmaid, saying, Assuredly Solomon thy son shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon my throne. Why then doth Adonijah reign? Behold, while thou yet talkest there with the king, I also will come in after thee, and confirm thy words. And Bathsheba went in unto the king into the chamber, and the king was very old, and Abishag the Shunammite ministered unto the king. Oh, I don't you don't get it. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, you can say after me. I'm gonna tell you what's going on here. Now, Adonijah, like I said, he's already appointed himself to go out there and be king, and now people are looking at him like, no, what are you guys going on? And see, he already knew who Nathan was. Nathan was a powerful prophet back then. Nathan was the one that corrected David back then. So he didn't invite Nathan, and he didn't invite Solomon, and he didn't invite all the people that were for Nathan and Solomon. He didn't invite none of them to his little shindig that he had going on. So Nathan the prophet, he came in and he went over to Bathsheba because Bathsheba is whose mother? Solomon. That's Solomon's mother. And remember, Solomon is supposed to be the next king. So Nathan went to Bathsheba and was like, did you know that Adonijah is out here supposed to be the king? And I thought your son was to be the king. So he said, well, this is what I need you to do. I need you to go talk to David. And I want you to say these exact words. See, Nathan told her exactly what to go to David and say. And he said, once you go in there and say it, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to back you up. I'm going to go. He pretty much said, once you say it, I'm going to go confirm what you said. And so she was like, okay. So we can stop right there.
And when I read that, I was like, he basically pulled a God's card, like basically, like God gave you a word, and you just was waiting on time to confirm it himself. And so when he sent Bathsheba in to talk to David, it was like, that's when I say he played the God move. Like he waited for that point in time for him to step in and say exactly what God gave him to say, for her to say, basically. So it was like, this is all when they were questioning David and like, hey, did you appoint this, or is this something that he just playing around with? Like, it's a joke or something, but did you do this? Mm-hmm. So that's basically what that part means.
Yeah, because he knew that Solomon was the rightful king. He needed to take his place. And so they had to take the measures that they needed to take in order for things to be set up right. Look, anybody want to say anything else about that part? All right, Bug. We're at 16 through 22. 25, Bug. 16 through 25.
Bathsheba bowed down prostrate herself before the king. What is it that you want? The king asked. She said to him, my lord, you yourself swore to me, your servant by the Lord of God. Solomon, you are the son, shall be king after me, and he will sit on my throne. But now Adonijah has become king, and you, my lord, the king, do not know about it.
Hold up.
Cattle, faded
Turn it on? Turn it on?
Hold up.
He has sacrificed great numbers of the cattle, faded cow, and sheep. He has invited all the king's sons, Abiathar, the priest, and Jael, the commander of the army. But he has invited Solomon, your servant, my lord the king. The eyes of all Israel are on you, to learn from you who sits in the throne, my lord the king after him. Otherwise, as soon as my lord the king is laid to rest with his ancestors, I and my son Solomon will be treated as criminals.
You can start right there. Please.
The Haggard had went to the king just to like basically beg for Solomon's I wouldn't say right? Oh, she went to the king to beg Solomon so he can have the position because he wasn't basically supposed to be the king. He was. That reminds me of this movie I was watching with Buck that was sleeping on the couch. It was this man. He was like secretly trying to become the king. Well, I just related to a movie that we all watched, Aladdin, Jafar. He was trying to take the throne like undercover, and he was trying to attack a whole nother village that signed a peace treaty with him. But what was the point? All this man wanted was just power, and power just corrupts people. It just makes people do evil things. And she was begging him just to get the throne back.
You're absolutely right. And that's what's going on there. And what Bathsheba is sort of telling him right now is like, I thought you said, first of all, when she went in, what was the first thing she did when she went in?
Wow.
She by herself because even though that's her husband, he's still the king. So she went in and she bowed herself before him and let him know. Well, I thought you said that Solomon was going to be the next king. And David was looking like, well, what you talking about? Because remember, David didn't even know what's going on. And she was letting him know that Adonijah already out here appointed himself the king. And then he was letting him know, saying, okay, so what you going to do about it? Because by the time you get ready to die, they're going to be there to try to kill us and get rid of us so that he can have the position. So she pretty much telling David to make your, or how do people say, stake your claim. Go ahead and do what you need to do and set this up before something happened to you. And when I was thinking about it when Brother Darman was reading it, it's like right now these days in time, like when we have families and different things like that, and if you don't get a will and stuff like that prepared, if you don't have things in writing and have them notarized, do all the legal work that you're supposed to do, anybody can come in and start trying to wreck shop in there and say, well, no, they said this, when they died, they said that you could do this, and they said that, but only thing you can keep going off of what people say, but not what is real. So that's why a will is always important, and that's for these days in time. You have to have things written in stone in order for it to be accepted and in order for it to be effective. Because if you don't, then guess what? You're going to have a whole lot of trouble going on. And that's what Bathsheba was trying to get him to do. Listen, I need you not only to think about what I'm telling you, but I need you to get up and say your last will and testament. I need you to get up before the people and say it. Say that this is what's about to take place, and this is who I need in place, this is who I need in position. I need you to get up and do something. And so this is the point that where we at right now. And so far, so good. What y'all think about it so far? Mm-hmm. Apostle, we ready for you?
I'm starting at 22, correct?
Huh?
24?
You're doing 22 through 27.
Shut up, son. That was correct.
I just read 25. So I just started with 22.
If you read along, you would know that.
I had told him to stop when he was at about the 20s. It's okay.
Verse 23 says,
22 we didn't read.
verse 22 says, and lo, while she yet talked with the king, Nathan the prophet also came in. And they told the king, saying, behold, Nathan the prophet. And when he was come in before the king, he bowed himself before the king with his face to the ground. And Nathan said, my lord, O king, hast thou said, Adonijah shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon my throne? For he is gone down this day, and have slain oxen and fat cattle and sheep in abundance, and have called all the king's sons and the captains of the host, and Abiathar the priest, and behold, they eat and drink before him, and say, God save King Adonijah. But me, even me, thy servant, and Zadok the priest, and Benaiah the son of Jediah, and thy servant Solomon have he not called. Is this thing done by my lord the king? Thou hast not showed it unto thy servant? Who should sit on the throne of my lord the king after him? Then King David answered and said, call me Bathsheba. And she came into the king's presence and stood before the king. And the king swore and said, as the Lord liveth, that hath redeemed my soul out of all distress, even as I swore unto thee by the Lord God of Israel, saying, assuredly, Solomon thy son shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon my throne in my stead. Even so will I certainly do this day. Then Bathsheba bowed with her face to the earth, and did reverence to the king, and said, let my lord King David live forever. And King David said, call me Zadok the 32.
So yeah, it says 27.
You want me to stop at 27?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I
You
did.
done lost me now.
I'm reading, baby. I'm rolling. Hey,
You can stop right there.
I ain't even see the stop sign. I blew right by it.
I know you have to. It's okay.
Blow right by it.
Let's go ahead and expound on 22 through 30. We don't want to hear 32. I didn't even want to hear 31. But go ahead.
I'll expound to the 27. Let me look at the 27. This thing done by my Lord the King now has not showed it until that servant reached. Oh well, this is David going to God. You know, sometimes, you know, we hear things and just to make it relatable. You know, sometimes we hear things in the street. You know, the streets be talking, and at this time the streets were talking, but instead of David getting into it with people like we do, you know, we quick to want to clap back. You want to get on social media and get at people because they calling our name. You know, we like too quick to tell somebody, keep my name out your mouth. But David, he did what the right way. He said, let me go to God with this. You know, God, if this was going on, and you ain't let me know. Somebody else is supposed to be, you know, coming, and I don't know about it. So he went to God. In these verses, this is him having his one-on-one with God, which is what we need to do a lot more often, is to have that one-on-one with God and figure out, you know, what the deal really is, not what we heard or what we think, but to be able to really find out from God what is really going on and straighten it out from a godly sense and not from our flesh. You know, and in this day and age, most people, if this was anybody else and it was this time and this was going on, it would have been, you know, a social media war going on right now. It would have been a fight in the streets back in our day. We ain't had social media, but we see them in the streets, and when we see them, it's going down. But I love the fact that David, a man of God, he went to God and asked him plainly. You know, a lot of times we act like we don't know how to go to God, or we don't want to go to God because we think we got to come with some excellent, perfect prayer. But David being straight of God, what's going on? I need to know. Is this actually what's going on, and you just, you know, kept it from me, or what? You know, and then as you see when I did, you know, blew past the stop sign, you know, he started calling people out. Hey, bring so and so in. Bring, you know what I'm saying? That's what we gotta do. We got people talking and things going on, but we don't never really confront the people. We go, Doc say something about me, and instead of me going to Doc, I go to talk about it to Darius. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, hey, bring that person, let's straighten it out. Let's talk, let's straighten it out. This is what we gotta learn how to do. And this is what David was doing.
All right. So what we see going on right here is a whole bunch of mixing up going on. And so when Nathan came in, he was like, man, he said, did you really do this? Did you do this? And we don't even know. We thought you were your right-hand man. We thought, you know, that we supposed to know what's going on out here. So, you know, Nathan already knew what was going on. Because he was the one who told Bathsheba go in there and mention it to King David about what was going on. You don't know what trash at. Give it to Johnny. I'm knocking the camera.
It's a lot of mixing up. It's a lot of mixing up. Y'all gotta change it for y'all, you know, before we start Bible study.
But I myself, sir, was not invited. Okay, so they was really asking to find out what was really going on, and did he really make what's the man name, Adonijah, the king? And so as we see, we get down to verse number 28. The apostle read 28. He said, "Call Bathsheba." David said, so she came back in and stood before the king, and the king vowed, as surely as the Lord lives, who has rescued me from every danger, today I decree that your son Solomon will be the next king and will sit on my throne, just as I swore to you before the Lord, the God of Israel. See, he had to make it known right there and let Bathsheba know, listen, I had nothing to do with what's going on. He said, so I'm making it plain, I'm making it known. And a lot of times it's just like I heard Apostle said a few minutes ago, we have to go to God in these situations, because you gotta remember is David gotta handle his business as the king. But this his wife talking to him about his son. So he had to make sure he didn't get in the flesh at all. So he had to make sure, okay, let me talk to God, let me find out what's going on, let me make sure I do things in decent and in order. Because you gotta remember, this is my son. So if I see him out there and hey, he's actually older than Solomon, and so he should be. But Adonijah, Absalom, a bunch of David's sons was out there doing a whole lot of stuff they had no business doing. And so they was, in all honesty, they wasn't really worthy of being king. They wasn't worthy of holding that seat. And let me give y'all a little history on Solomon. Let me tell you who Solomon is. Solomon was a botanist. Who know what a botanist is? Watch the nerd. Huh? You ain't saying nerd. Solomon was a botanist. He was also a zoologist. What that is? He was an architect. He was a poet and a philosopher. So he was the wisest king in the history of Israel. So being that Solomon was so wise, and Solomon was ready for that position. He was able and more capable to hold that position than Adonai. Y'all didn't see Solomon go out there and try to set himself up as king. He was humble. None of David other tribes were humble. Them tribes was always getting into something they ain't had no business getting into. They kill each other. They went out and set each other up, and the cousins went out there and did this. One of the sons raped the sister. All kind of things was going on. So a lot of his other sons was just a mess. It was horrible. So as you can see, David had to go out and he had to let her know, listen, I'm gonna handle it. Don't worry about it. I got it. I'm gonna handle it. And so just like I said earlier, we have to make like the word of God, make your call and election sure. He had to go and let her know I didn't set this up. So Brother Darius, let's hit it.
Wait, I'm starting it and finish it.
Go ahead and read 31 because I didn't even pay attention to 30.
Where I stop?
I'm going to stop at 38. Well, stop at 36. So you can have some scriptures and so.
Then Bathsheba bowed.
Come on, man. Read her name.
Then Bathsheba bowed with her face to the earth, and did reverence to the king, and said, "Let my lord King David live forever." And King David said, "Call me Zadok, the priest, and Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada."
I don't know.
Jehoiada. And they came before king. The king also said unto them, "Take with you the servants of your lord, and cause Solomon my son to ride upon my own mule, and bring him down to Gihon. And let Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet anoint him. Their king over Israel, and blow ye with the trumpet, and say, God save King Solomon. Then ye shall come up after him, that he may come and sit up on my throne. For he shall be king in my stead. And I have appointed him to be a ruler over Israel and over Judah." And Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, answered the king and said, "Amen. The Lord God of my Lord the king say so too. As the Lord hath been with my Lord."
That's 36.
No, she didn't. She did 38. So
No, I said
that is
36.
what you said, Mama.
And then we went back and said 36, so that Deke and your Mr. Moon can have some scriptures.
All the way to 53. You could have let me go to 30.
Oh man, that's it. You we didn't even understand what you said just now. I myself gonna have to go back and read what you read. So come on, talk to me about what you read just now, bro.
I have no idea.
Exactly what you were talking about earlier when you said David was giving him the instructions to say this, now come back and officialize it. And it's basically the same thing you were saying. David was given the next king, he was giving him instructions and stuff. He'd be like, go out there and say this, and I would come out and I let them know, yeah, I told him to say that, stuff like that. Support them.
No. So
Yes.
what did he have to do? Who did he have to call back in?
Stop.
That's it?
And Nathan.
And who else?
And Benaiah
What did he call them back for?
to give them the instructions.
He called them back in there because they're his right hand men. And so what he needed them to do was make sure that things were set up and things was in order. And what he said was make sure that when Solomon comes through, he riding on my mule, which would let people know he is the king. That he's coming through. And I said that he was the king. I gave him the permission. I set this up and not nobody else. And that shows a sign of respect. And you got to remember, while David is doing all this, David already old and sickly and pretty much dying. So he's still handling all his business before he check out. So he had to make it right. So that's why he had to call all the prophets and stuff back in and let them know, these boys still work for me, and so this is how I need things to be done. Which was
Very recently, King David was called Zadok the priest.
yeah, he called those his three right hand men, Zadok, Nathan, and Benaniah.
But King David said, "Call me Zadok the priest."
That's like saying, tell him to come in.
Yeah,
Tell them come in.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what he was saying. Tell them, because it's like you will have your three. Some people have like, okay, these my armor bearers, or these my people that I always have with me, who are just like Jesus had James, John, and Peter, wasn't he? Or the three disciples that he would always have with him all the time. So those are the three people that he would have with him all the time and knew, David in and out. And so that's why he made sure that he called them in so that they'll know what's going on, and that David said it, and then they could pass the word about what was going on. Anybody else want to say anything else?
Yes. So basically, like what you just said is like what I was saying. He was giving them very specific instructions for what they needed to go out and do. All of them, he was like, hey, you do this, do this, do this. He was giving them specific instructions about what he wanted to take place. Exactly what you were saying.
Right.
I just wasn't as specific as you were. Right?
And you weren't saying it with no confidence either. So
Because you were saying it like you were asking a question.
So listen, when you talk, you still need to talk like because you're explaining something. So you got to explain it so people can really get what you're saying. If you keep, so people can't understand what you're saying.
Correct.
And when just remember, Zadok and Nathan were the ones who had came in and they anointed Solomon king over Israel. All right, so let's go on. Deacon Jenkins, where you stop at, Bob? 36. Deacon, we're gonna read 38. 37. On down to 42.
As the Lord hath been with my Lord the King, even so be he with Solomon, and make his throne greater than the throne of my Lord King David. So the the priest, and Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and the Cherethites and the Pelethites went down and called Solomon to ride upon King David's mule and brought him to Zion. And Zadok the priest took an horn of oil out of the tabernacle and anointed Solomon, and they blew the trumpet, and all the people said, God save King Solomon. And all the people came up after him, and the people piped with pipes and rejoiced with great joy, so that the earth rent with the sound of them. And Adonijah and all the guests that were with him heard it that they had made an end of eating. And when Joab heard the sound of the trumpet, he said, "Wherefore is the noise of the city being in an uproar?" And while he yet spake, behold, Jonathan the son of Abiathar the priest came, and Adonijah said unto him, "Come in, for thou art a valiant man, and bringest good tidings." Right here is basically, they basically executed everything that David had said for him to do, anointing Solomon and let him ride upon his mule. And this is when Adonijah is starting to hear the noise, and he's starting to wonder what's going on. I thought I'm already king. Like, how they had a hold of the ceremony, and I'm already here. I'm on the throne, so ain't nobody gonna overtake me. But I hear all this noise. I hear the ceremony. I hear all this big commotion. What's going on? This is basically when Adonijah was basically asking me what's going on. And right now, when Jonathan steps in, he's about to tell him exactly what happened.
All right. I'm trying to highlight something. All right. So, and what we read this far, who was it that made the decree over Solomon? Who made the decree when he was coming through? Verse 36. Benaniah. He replied, and I like the way I had to highlight it because of the way he said it. He said, "May the Lord, the God of my Lord, the King, decree it to be so, and may the Lord be with Solomon as he been with you, and may he make Solomon's reign even greater than yours." So they really were making sure that Solomon know that they had his back and everything that was going on. And I just like that part because sometimes we don't understand the journey of coming in and have to be a leader, or coming in and having to rule people and different things. And even when we get in a little further of what's going on, as soon as Solomon was in there, he had been faced with a very difficult decision that he had to make off the rip, and that goes to show the kind of wisdom that he had. But I'm not going to go into that part because that's later on. But understand that through the midst of all of this, that things was being set in order and things are being set in place. And that's just like nowadays, it's amazing how, we see churches running for years and years and years, but then there's nobody, groomed, or nobody's able to take over the church, the leadership guys, or they pass away, or something happens where, prevents them from being able to get up and preach or teach God's word. It's a sad occasion when nobody else knows how to get up and preach. Nobody else sees people. Nobody knows how to get up and lead God's people because they weren't trained, or the messages that was coming in were just, okay, they're just preaching and that's it. We just having Sunday services and that's it. But if you don't have things like Bible study and Sunday school, or different classes that's going to teach people, the ins and out, and how to live as a Christian, or be, in leadership position, or how, businesses ran, you just got a church full of people that is sitting down, somebody get up and preach to them, then they go, amen, take an offering and go home. That's it. And we don't see each other again or hear from each other again until on a Sunday. So I like the fact that they were able to have somebody right there that was ready to take over.
Like you're saying, I've seen like churches that when the leader died, they don't know what to do. They just go all up in an uproar. But as you see in this story, like when even as David was dying and he was on his last leg, he was basically, the people basically confirmed it when like the people started making the noise. And like I said, I've seen churches where like people were confused and people just started pointing themselves, thinking that it's all right, I'll take care of everything, I'll jump in, and that's when everything started falling apart because then they have the mindset of their own. They have the mindset of their own is to take it upon themselves and try to run it how they want to, and never letting God, run it how He wanted to. But right here, it's basically the people stepped in and when they confirmed that He was king, it was basically that it was making showing this is what God wanted.
I used to be that same type of person. Just going to church and class to start understanding. I remember I told you and Apostle me one time, I think it was on Holy Temple. I was like, I only like when you and Mom preach because I actually understand what y'all are talking about. And actually, y'all be like referencing stuff that I can relate to, and then y'all break it down. Either one of you or both of you would add in a joke to literally tie everything in. So it's like I understand that. So I always think about. Even when we visit churches, I think about, the youth that I see in there, or even the adults that sit in there and they just look so lost. It's like, I don't know what y'all talking about. And then when you ask them a question outside of church and outside of, anything, they just dumb. Basically, like they don't have, I don't know, I'm about dumb because they don't know, you can't answer that. Everything is always, or I remember my pastor, I ain't actually about your pastor, bro. I just want to know what you know about it. And then I remember somebody said, I don't like that. I want to know what you said. I want to see how you understand it. And that's not just because that's how I was, taking in the word for myself, but it just makes sense. Even knowing that, we sit in the same classroom in school, and you still asking for the answers on my test, bro. She teaching the same thing. Just look at her and ask her the questions. Stop asking her for stuff. Stop just stop thinking that, God just gonna drop out of the sky and just fix your problems, because he's not. He will never ever do that. He's not gonna just, just pop up in your living room and literally talk to you like how we talk to each other. He's not gonna give you, the tablets like he gave Moses. You got it. It's right here. It's the Bible. So it's that simple to understand that everything you literally want to know, everything you want to ask, is in the Bible. Not only that, but if you pray on it and meditate on it, and the way you meditate on it, you focus on it. And how do you focus on it? You focus on your bills way more than you focus on praying. So that same exact tactic that you be stressing about, like, how to get this done, okay, maybe I can do it. See, all that energy you put into stressing about something, put that into something more spiritual. I don't want to react this way. I don't want to respond this way. So if you keep focusing on that throughout your day, throughout conversations and interactions with her, you know that I don't want to be this mean person anymore. So everything that comes my way, I'm gonna try and turn it down with a very nice answer, and I'm gonna just do my absolute best to not do this, not do that, like I used to. That's how you meditate and you focus on the goods and the bads of your life. So I understand this story even more though, because when we first got the message, I clicked on my phone to try to listen to it from the audio version of it. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm just learning in Bible study. So that's why I wasn't saying, but I was trying to get as much as I could.
I think that is testing.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
I can raise my hand. You had to look at me. I thought that was you.
Go ahead, Apostle.
Thank you for the cue. That's a testament to why it's good to get, I would dare to say, the right version or the right translation of the Bible for you.
Yes, Lord.
Because it'll save you a lot of time. It'll save you a lot of time. But even when you get your Bible apps on your phone, you can pick your translation. Yeah. So you get the translation if you need to be the New International Version or whatever the different versions are that break it down in today's English. You want to do that because the Bible says in many different places to all you get understanding. So we definitely want to get the understanding. But this helps when you're in Bible study. And I say it to say, if I can get a good handle on it before class, then when class I can go deeper. If you have no idea, a lot of times, and then you get into class and we together, so it's a lot more distractions. Take that time, and I was glad when I saw Pastor, put the where we were going up early, because I used to try to do that, but I'd be so busy. I'd be meaning to do it sometime, and I don't get to do it. When we're on a series, I don't have to worry about it. But it's good to do that, to give everybody a chance to look over it. You know what I'm saying? It's not, and there's no pressure. Just reading over the scriptures, getting familiar with the scriptures, and then we can talk about it. And it'll actually open you up to have more to talk about when we do discuss the scripture, because it won't be like brand new. And you don't sit there talking about, So we definitely want to take the time and like I said, I think the Bible apps are definitely a less expensive way to get your word in. Because if you go looking for a Bible nowadays, and you're trying to get the broke down version, the really good study Bible, yeah, they're gonna charge you. It's a little pretty penny for a night for a good Bible. But that's where you use technology and get it translated, get a translation. Young people, if you don't know how to look for that translation, get an adult's help to help you to find a good translation. That way, I think mine do like Docs do. I can do the audio on mine too. I don't hardly ever use it, but it's there. If I was like busy outside all day, I would use that. If I'm in my car riding around, because what I'm saying, at least it'll put the words in your mind, and you can mull it over. And like I tell anybody, before you read, before you listen, pray, because you need to kind of get all the mess out of the way, and you want God to open your understanding. I used to do that every prayer. I had a prayer before every time I went to read because I want to understand what it is I'm reading. This is a very good story because it's a lot going on in this story, and it's a lot of people involved.
Yes.
And it shows you that what today it ain't no different than yesterday. You got people talking stuff that they don't know. You got to call people out. You got to check with God. You got to straighten out this mess. You got to make sure these lies ain't going too far and everybody have an understanding. You got to make sure everybody get instructions and know what to do. Lead about to step off the scene. You want to make sure things are set in order. You don't want to leave the house in disarray. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that's going on today. It's funny that we're reading this story, and my wife just started watching or recapping herself with Queen Sugar, because that's basically what happened. Queen Sugar Daddy, who was the head of the household, he died at the little church party, have a heart attack. He leave out and nothing's left in order. He in debt. And they don't even know about it. They think he's doing good. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't even there like David's handling his business. Like you said, he's sick and elderly, but he's still handling his business. The character in this story, he kept everything to himself. Now his children come in and they had odds with each other. They scrambling trying to figure out what to do. They two of them ain't got no interest in the family business, and the one that got an interest have no idea what he's doing. So, things is real. These are real situations. Sometimes we look at the Bible as some strange foreign stories. We think of the Bible, we start seeing visions of Aladdin in our head. You know what I'm saying? We start seeing the cartoons and the movies we done seen. We gotta actually make it relevant to what we're dealing with, so it can matter to us. Because if not, we'll be like our pastor say earlier. People be preaching, amen, amen, watching our watch, amen, amen, pastor, you right now. Hurry up. And then it's like, oh God, we finally out of here. Hey, what we gonna eat? Mine ain't thinking about no word. You ain't taking nothing in. You ain't even talking over what just happened. It's just like, yeah, exactly. It's a switch, a church switch. Click, we done. And you be mad when somebody's riding down the road or at the restaurant. What do you think about that word? Come on now, we don't have church. Are you mad about? You don't want to. But if we come out the movie theater, we're talking about the movie for days. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta definitely pay attention and realize that these were people going through life things, just like we're people going through life things. And if you could see that in the relation, then you could find some clarity in your own life a lot more than what we do. A lot of times, that's why we be feeling like nobody knows. I'm just going through it because you ain't open up to what's going on. The Bible tell you ain't nothing new under the sun. You got everything in the Bible, from rape to cannibalism to adoption to incest to murder to thievery, everything you can find on the TV. That's why it's easy for, and I like the fact that Darmaine is able to relate the scripture to something he understands, whether it be a movie, a comic book, or a game. Because think about it, everything he talks about in his relation is made by a human. Yes. Every human is made in the image of God. There's nothing we can talk about and not really relate to God. There's nothing we could write or imagine or create that doesn't have something to do with God. I've said that many times. You rattle off a movie and I can tell you where God is in it easily because it's not hard. It's not hard. Even if you say 300, then you got to read the story of Gideon. You understand what I'm saying? If you understand Harlem Nights, they were getting run out of the city, right? How many times you read about Paul was run out of the city? Paul had to leave out the back wall. They had to let him out the back wall. He was trying to get out of there. When you talk about salt, you're talking about like Greek mythology, where you got Methuselah, Medusa, who could turn people into stone. But those are things that when you look at, it's not so much figurative. It's not so literal as it is figurative. And that's why most people, when they preach about the pillar of salt, they preach from a literal, a figurative of looking back, not so much as turning your head, but desiring to go back. That a lot of people die because they want to hold on to the past instead of letting it go. Bring it up to date. A woman that's in an abusive relationship, and God is trying to make way for her to get out of here, but she want to be back with that person because she loves him, even though he's had beaten her to death all the time, and then they go back and want to get killed. It's just like being killed in Egypt because you went back to where your bondage was. That killed you. There's nothing we can talk about that isn't related to the word of God. We don't have to think about it because it's a part of who we are. It's in us. We can't escape it. That's just like the color of your skin. You can't escape it. Amen. Amen.
Low down dirty chain.
Low down dirty chain. I gotta remember what the story is about. Well, you got a detective that's trying to figure out what's going on, and he got issues himself that he's dealing with. His little protege is following him around, but she becomes a better detective later on. Now you think about, I was about to say Elijah and Elisha. A man had a mission, but he had a protege, and at the end, the protege graduates to be more like the teacher. The student is more like the teacher from the episode that they go through because of the trials and tribulation they had to go through, which is a journey. It's a journey. Think about the prophet who sent the servant out to see if it was rain, and he had kept going out. And he said when he finally said he'd seen a cloud the size of a man's hand. But the student gets to learn by studying the master, gets to learn what's really going on and seeing the big picture. You take that into almost any movie where you got a student and a master's scenario. You know what I'm saying? They have to go through what they have to go through and realize that it's bigger than them. Epic was showing that the world is bigger than what we realize. And the girl had to be shrunk down to realize how big the world really is. Because in her life, she was feeling like, and this ain't nothing going on in my life. This everything's whack. Everything, you know how teenagers are saying. Everything is just, man, this don't mean nothing. So when you shrink, you see how big the world is. It's worlds within worlds all around you. This is why people who are in their mind think they're privileged, like Caucasians who think they don't see the plight of nobody else but them because they don't see how big the world is. Now, with things going on like in Epic, it seems like turmoil is everywhere. All 50 states and other worlds protesting at the same time. Now you see all these countries, all these companies.
Now they want to recognize.
Hey, now you got Band-Aid brand. We talking about it on the show. Band-Aid brand making all skin colors now. Crayola making crayons with all skin colors now. Well, we've been here since the beginning of time. You just decide that you want to make some different tones of your browns and yellows. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. When we were little, as an artist, you know what we used to do? Mix our crayons, put them in layers, and create the colors that we know we wanted to create. We learned about primary and secondary colors and how to mix colors and create other colors. When we wanted to tone it down or darken it, we take whatever the color is and add a little brown or a little black, mix it together, and we knew how to do this because we work with paints and colors. We knew how to put a little white into the red to make a pink. You know what I'm saying? A little yellow into the red to make an orange. Kids today now don't know primary or secondary color. Damn, you be like, what's your primary color? My what? What's your secondary color? My what? Because the education system is failing. It's failing because they're trying to get so modern and new that they're missing the basics. And the basics is what you got to have for the foundation. How you going to take the concrete out and you spread the hay down so much you about to build a house? Okay. You about to build a barn, but you're going to build a house. And barns fall down all the time. They don't have no foundation. Imagine.
All right. First Kings, first chapter, verse 43. And Jonathan answered and said unto Adonai, Ananiah, verily our Lord King David hath made Solomon king, and the king hath sent him with him Zadok the priest, and Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah the son of Joab, and the Shurites, and the Pelethites, and they have caused him to ride upon the king's mule. And Zadok the priest, and Nathan the prophet, have anointed him king in Gilead, and they are come up from thence rejoicing, say, so that the city rang in him. And this is the noise that he had heard. And also Solomon sitting on the throne of the kingdom. And moreover, the king's servants came to bless our Lord King David, saying, God, make the name of Solomon better than thy name. Make his throne greater than thy throne. And the king bowed himself upon the bed. And also thus said the king, Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, which hath given one to sit on my throne this day, mine eyes even seeing it. And all the guests that were with Adonijah were afraid, and rose up and went every man his way. And Adonijah feared because of Solomon, and arose and went and caught hold on the horns of the altar. This is my first time reading that, but I've always heard that. And it was told Solomon, saying, Behold, Adonijah feared King Solomon, for lo, he had caught hold of the horns of the altar, saying, Let King Solomon swear unto me today that he will not slay the servant with his sword. And Solomon said, If he will shew himself a worthy man, there shall not an hair of him fall to the earth, but if wickedness shall be found in him, he shall die. So King Solomon sent, and they brought him down from the altar. And he came and bowed himself to King Solomon, and Solomon said to him, Go to thine house. So in my understanding, as King Solomon became, was crowned king, and was basically being praised by the people, you see that Adonijah started to get fear in his heart. He started to get fear. What I understand earlier in the Bible, that Adonijah was older than Solomon, isn't he? Adonijah is fearing Solomon, I guess, because of the position and because of all the responsibilities that Solomon is about to take on. Not only that, I do understand that Adonijah was portraying to be king earlier on, so now you actually see that what a real king has to go through and all the steps and stuff. So, 46 says, and also Solomon sitteth on the throne of the kingdom. So, seeing that happen, and just from a natural standpoint, seeing your little brother actually be promoted, actually have something real going on, and not being fake like you, that would put a little bit of fear or jealousy in the heart of men or anybody, because now you can actually, demand things, you can send decrees out, and not only that, but you have the blessing of your elders, you have the blessing of King David himself for this to be true. You didn't receive that, so I see it in my head as my apostle, my pastor going, and not even being rude about it, but just checking other people who have not gone through the process, who have not spent as much time and years, not even reading off of Solomon's accomplishments. You have not done half of what my leaders had to go through to get to where they are now. So yeah, that would make you act a certain way. That would make you probably switch up your word when it's time for you to bring your word. That would make you act funny. So we see that nowadays. You just be yourself, be real, stay humble, stay teachable. And people still don't like you. People still hate them. People still see you growing, they see you doing your thing, but it's basically jealousy, fear tying into itself. So, recognizing in the 48th verse that it says, and also let's say the king, blessed be the Lord God of Israel, which hath given one to sit on my throne this day, mine eyes even seeing it. I'm thinking that's King David who said that. Yes. So King David is rejoicing and thanking God for allowing him to see his son become king of Israel and become the man that he was already going basically predestined to be. So good.
And as we can see, Adonijah and them, they've been up there partying and having a good time. The boys been getting it in. And then all of a sudden they hear all the noise and they're like, what is going on here? So, he had one of the boys go out there and go check to see what's going on. And when he come back, I'm sure he been tipsy. He tell somebody, I know you got some good news. And it's like, nah, I ain't got no good news. And he's like, well, what's all the noise? He say, because they just anointed Solomon the king. And so that's when, two get a question at the same time. Hold on. And so that's when that's when Adonijah was like, oh my Lord, what did I do? And that's one of the reasons why he was scared, because he was trying to sneak up in there, and it wasn't for him to do. He'd already and he didn't go and had the party and all them people there and different things like that. So yeah, he was afraid. And let me see what else I was getting ready to say. See, verse number, I started 49 says, then all of Adonijah's guests jumped up in a panic from the banquet table and quickly went their separate ways. See what they had going on? Them boys, they having a good time till they find out what was really going on the outside of them doors. In verse 50, Adonijah himself was afraid of Solomon. So he rushed to a sacred tent and cut hold to the horns of the altar. So he went in there, he's like, man, let me go like they said, let me go in the ark of safety. Let me go somewhere where I know I'm not going to be harmed. And you know what Solomon said? Solomon said, if he proves himself to be loyal, he will not be harmed. But if he does not, he will die. So King Solomon summoned Adonijah, and they brought him down from the altar. He came and bowed low before the king, and Solomon dismissed him and said, go on home. See, he came in there the right way. I bet if he had to come in there, like some people come in there and say, no, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what the problem is. I'm the king. If he had to come in there like that, off with his head, he was going to die right then. But he came in there, he bowed his head, and Solomon was like, go on home. Man, going home. I don't know who had the hand first. Go ahead, somebody speak.
The first movie pop up was Black Panther. That's when Michael B. Jordan was brought before Chadwick, and even though he wanted the throne, he wanted to do all the things for, I'm not sure that's how you pronounce it, that's how you're going to say it. So even though he wanted to do all this stuff and challenge for the throne and stuff, he still kept calm. Like, I know why you're here, I know who you are, so I don't have to prove anything to you. We can always settle this another way. Anyway, so the movie went on, and N'Chaka was about to send out the planes or whatever, and send out, his little mission until they started hearing some noise outside. But one of their planes came down, and they see that the actual true king of Black Panther came back, and everybody just stopped moving. It was like, so yeah, that's what I
Me, the first movie that came out was Color Purple. Like, everybody got up the table, and, like, it just reminded me of the scene when Sophia walked in the club and Apple, little new girlfriend, trying to establish herself as a new wife and all that. And yeah, see, Sophia wasn't having that, and knocked her straight into the water, and everybody else just shut down shop like, oh, time to go. That would remind me of. But I also wanted to ask a question: did they send out for somebody to go check and see his brother, or was that Jonathan that came to them?
He went out there and he said, let me back it on up. All right, verse number 38. So Zadok the priest, Nathan the prophet, Benaniah, son of Jehoiada, and the king's bodyguard took Solomon down to Gihon spring, and Solomon rode on King David's personal mule. There, Zadok the priest took a flask of olive oil from the sacred tent and poured on Solomon's head. Then the trumpets were blown, and all the people shouted, long live King Solomon. And all the people returned with Solomon to Jerusalem, playing flutes and shouting for joy. The celebration was so joyous and noisy that the earth shook with sound. The earth shook with sound. Adonijah and his guests heard the celebrating and shouting just as they were finishing the banquet. When Joab heard the sound of trumpets, he asked, "What's going on? Why is the city in an uproar?" And while he was still speaking, Jonathan, son of Abiathar, the priest, arrived. "Come in," Adonijah said, "for you are a good man. You must have good news." And that's what's taking place right there. Jonathan was coming back to where they were. And that's how he let them know what was going on.
Okay. Is that the same Jonathan that's the best friend of David?
Jonathan did.
That Jonathan did.
See, that's why you gotta read the book of Samuel. But there's a whole nother Jonathan. And Jonathan been dead. Jonathan died when his daddy died. Saul. When that was Saul's son. And they died at the same time, the same battle. So yeah, that's not him. Because if that was him, remember Jonathan and David were best friends. And by this time, by David is old and everything, David already blessed Jonathan's seed, which was Mephibosheth. Yep, the boy that had he the one who had the nerve fell and broke his leg. So y'all have to read. See, look at it. Y'all didn't know about that anymore. You know about that anymore. Oh my God.
That comes from y'all, to be honest, and not trying to be funny. That comes from y'all not paying attention to church because we talking about it.
And I preach about it. Lady Gillison, we on First Kings, and we just starting our topic on tonight, and we're starting with David and him and his dying state, and now he's anointing Saul, or Saul has now been anointed to be king. And I'll recap it for you real quick, because one of his sons, Adonijah, had already set himself up to go out there to be the king, and he was out there thinking he was running stuff, and so they had to come out and let Adonijah know, listen, you're not going to be the king, you're not supposed to be the king. So this is about, is that a good recap?
Yes.
That's about where we at, sis. Yes, sir.
David was already old. I think he did give it on so
You don't just give it up like that. You know what I mean? He had, once you died, didn't give up his throne. You see, he was still ruling from his bed. He's still ruling from his house. He's still ruling from his house. Yeah.
Whoever just wants to take it, don't take it.
Yeah, just like when daddy almost like really, really old. So it's not like he just gonna say, okay, why don't you go ahead and take over? Because he's still capable of handling stuff, right, babe? He's still capable of handling business. So, he ain't that old. Go ahead.
So where does this retirement come from in church?
What do you mean?
I'm like pastors and all retired.
Some people, I can't, judge people, and I don't want to be in the seat of judgment. But some people could possibly retire because of health reasons, or they could possibly be retiring because they just feel like they're not capable to get up and still do it. And believe it or not, being a pastor is hard work. It's a whole lot behind it. It comes with so much. We have so many hats. Go ahead. Sure. The windows, close the windows? All right, close the window. So it comes with a whole lot of different things. It comes with pressure. Y'all making the man nervous. Darn, go close the window on the back door. But it comes with a whole lot of pressure and stress and different things. And believe it or not, when people are in leadership positions, it comes with a whole lot of stress. And every time, you think about it. Oh, a good example just came to my head. I remember, and y'all remember when we left and we had to evacuate and go to Atlanta. Y'all ain't been in there with my husband. My husband was stressed out the whole time because stop taking up my Bible. My husband was stressed out the whole time because he was trying to make sure that everybody that left and evacuated with us was in a safe place. And he was stressing the whole time because he was like, I just want to make sure that the people are good. I want to make sure everybody is safe. I want to make sure everybody is in a spot. So he's stressing the whole time. And even if the people around couldn't see what was going on, just know that that's what was going on behind closed doors. I don't think your brother know how to down this thing with him. Oh, well, I'm just trying to help you, baby. Tell me what you said. But that's what happens, and that's what was going on. It's a whole lot of stress. So when sometimes when some people retire, I can only assume it's for health reasons. Some people probably like, man, I don't want to stroke out in the church, or I don't want to have a heart attack, or none of that. I don't want to have a brain aneurysm. Sometimes when you feel your body talks to you, and when your body is like, that's enough. Either you're gonna shut it down, or it's gonna shut down by itself. So we sometimes I have to learn how to back up off of it, and just be like, okay, we got somebody else in place that's able to go ahead and run the ministry. Instead of some people saying I quit, people's like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and retire and let somebody else, handle it. So that's just me, how I think. I don't want to be the type of person to judge people and saying, now, when you retire, well, when a pastor get to retire? Oh, no, I can never say that. I can never think like that. I can never feel like that because I don't know, how my life may come along the way. And believe it or not, let me tell y'all this. Y'all don't never hear me talk about nothing that goes on with my women or anything like that. But when it comes down to that part of my ministry, I stress about it all the time because I'm like, right now, we haven't had it in a couple of months. So I'm like, I'm glad when I'm settled so I can get this thing back going. And the whole time, if I'm planning something or I'm getting something together, I like the things to be done decent and in order. I like the place to be clean. I like when people come over, they able to come over and have something to eat. I don't ever want to have my four women on the meeting and we just come in there and people looking like, we've been in here for over an hour. Can we at least get some water? And if I ain't got no water to offer the people, I ain't with it. I'm not with it. I at the last minute when I got off, I get home and I'm like, I don't have what I want. I don't like how it looks and different things like that. So I'll go right back out and I come back and I make sure that it's set up nice. If you set up nice in jazz, because that's me. I like things to look good. I want things to be presented nicely, and even like if you've got to put on a program and different things like that. If you got to put on a program, you should want it to run and be done right. You don't want to have to get up there and be in front of people and be like, our speaker is looking at you like, kid, you go sit down. Because I'm that person that's in the audience, and I also know I'm that person that's sitting in the audience. I'm looking like, really? So I came here for this. This what I drove, and that's the look that's on my face. My face speaks before my mouth does. So when it comes down to handling church business and different things like that, it's a whole lot of work. It's a whole lot of pressure. It's a whole lot of stress. And so when it comes down to it, you want to handle it and make sure that it's handled right.
I'm gonna listen to somebody in church. I'm gonna say, Mama said,
yeah,
I'll
tell you who church you was.
She was loud.
I done been in several different services, and I'm like, amen. If Jesus come now, I don't want to be one in the number. I gotta get out of here. I don't want to be nowhere around. So we gotta. Even the Bible tells you that when you in them kind of situations, they say you gotta separate yourself from them kind of situations because you don't never know what's gonna happen. You don't have to. You ain't bound inside nobody's building. You ain't bound inside nobody's service. And if it feel like it's going on, what if you sitting inside the service? No, man, what? What if you sitting inside the service, y'all? And while you sitting inside the service, and after praise and worship is over, and now the speaker come from the back. And when they come from the back, they come in and shaking them things, and then they start sprinkling dust on the and then they start saying all kind of things, and they start coming touching you and touching you. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna stay in there? No, man. I'm looking at him. I'm like, you can stay, but get the key to my car, especially if I drove. Hey, let's go, or you gonna be left. That's how it goes. You don't have to stay in no kind of situation. But I'm gonna tell y'all this, because there's so many churches in Georgia. But we've been to a church in Georgia. Oh my God. I think I told you about that. We went inside there. First of all, I was First of all, I was already mad because when we got there, I thought we was at somebody's two-story house. I was creeped out because when I was walking up, getting out the car, I'm like, this church? And then people got the tiki torches burning outside, and you gotta walk through like a little alleyway. You got the tiki torches burning. Then you got those little, what is they called? Not the gothic looking thing that's gargoyles sitting right just as soon as you get to the top step. There's one side of gargoyle on that side, one side of gargoyle, and I just turn around to the girl I'm good. I said, already in with it. So we get inside church. I don't even remember if Apostle went with me that night. Did you go? And we get inside the church. So y'all know when I ride too long, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I get down like, this church, I want to use the bathroom. I want to use the bathroom. So I went upstairs. You gotta go up some stairs to go use the bathroom. You get up the stairs, and right at the top of the stairs is a curtain right there. I'm nosy, y'all, so I'm gonna see. I'm going at kids, Jason, and one of them back there. So before I even check it, it was the arm fall right comes under the curtain. I said, oh my God. I said, oh no, I can't go. I can't use the bathroom. I can't use the bathroom. I can't use the bathroom. So I come out of there, and when I was coming out of there, I still wouldn't see who's going in the bathroom. I looked in the bathroom for the shower curtain tag. And they had the tub. The tub was full of like little dogs. Like little dogs was in the tub. So I was like, I can't get out of here. I went back downstairs and I tell the girl that I said, man, we gotta go on. It's just too much. So she said, well, we're gonna leave in a few minutes. I'm riding with them so I could leave. So we sitting in the church, y'all. I put my hand up the bar. We sitting in the church, and it seemed like as soon as I sat in my chair, it was like something sat on my lap. And I was like, I was trying with all my might to get up out of the chair and move around. And the woman of God came from in the back. She had on this big old robe. The robe looked like it was two sizes too big for her. She had some really long gray hair. And she looked like Mr. T. I don't know if y'all know who Mr. T is, with all them necklaces on his neck. And then she was coming from back there. It was pictures on the wall, right over the pulpit. On the pulpit, it was like the little angel with the dagger, and they had an angel baby laying across the other angel, and that one of the angels had the dagger right there. Y'all, when I tell y'all something was sitting on me in that church, and I could not get up, I couldn't move. It was ridiculous, and it seemed like somebody touched me like this, and when they touched me, it was like the thing jump up on me. And when I turn around, I say, "Look here now." I said, "Let's go, let's go." And guess what she said? I've been trying to get up for a few minutes, but I couldn't get up. That's how the spirits was in that church. We get up and we was out of there. It was, y'all, that was, I'll never forget that day. I'll never return back to that sanctuary, okay, ever in life. But it's mind-boggling. Even just thinking about it again. It was a lot. Yes, sir. I mean, it's something you probably can't do nothing about. Because sometimes it's not like you can say, okay, this night no hag but not ride. Sometimes they just come. Why do pigs ride you? Because I don't really pigs ride you. You know what it is? It's a spirit. It's a spirit that's really trying to ride you. And I remember I asked my grandma's sister about it one time. I'm like, so what are you supposed to do? And they know about that kind of stuff back then. So she said, this is what you do. When you get ready to go to sleep, lay the broom down by the door. In case they come across the broom. So lay the broom down by the door. And then when you get ready to go to sleep, and if you don't put the broom down and you go to sleep and you feel it on you, and you can see who it is, call their name. And when you call their name, clap your hand like this. Because you catch it. Huh?
That's a lot of it.
Yeah. That's what they told me. That's what they told me.
I had felt I had before when I was younger, but then when I learned to call on Jesus, the last time I felt I had when I called on Jesus, I ain't never felt the same thing.
Oh shit, I done felt them several times. And I done called the Lord any time. I done called the Lord any time. I see you, D. What you were saying,
He's laughing at my but with a story after me.
I know that story. How are you gonna call on it if you can't see a hand?
They say if you see who it is, that's what they tell me.
Who knows? Real talk. You gotta understand it's a spirit. If you're trying to fight that spirit in any other way other than with God, you how are you gonna stop it? You understand what I'm saying? It's spiritual. So if you're not fighting a spiritual battle, that's like taking a knife to a gunfight. How you gonna win? So if you ain't calling on the name of Jesus, you talking about, I call it, they ain't work, and you gonna try something else? Okay, but I'm telling y'all, it worked. If you want it to work, if you believe it's gonna work, if you're gonna not play with it, if you want it to stop, then you need to act like it. You know what I'm saying? If you, like you said, I hear you keep saying that every night. Well, when you gonna get tired of being sick and tired? Because I don't want something riding me every night. I'm going to God with all seriousness about that. You know, but because listening to y'all, I hear people that sound like they have accepted the hag riding them.
Oh, not me.
It's like if Rodney ain't nothing I can do, that's accepted. Then I'm never gonna tell myself there's nothing I can do when I'm fighting spirits. That's like I'm giving up. It's like I'm giving in and say, okay, well, devil, you got it. No, he ain't got it. He ain't gonna never got it. He ain't gonna never get it. I'm not giving up. Why? Because the word of God tells me, greater is he that is in me than he's in the world. So how am I ain't gonna ride me? If I'm really believing what I'm reading now, if I'm gonna stand up and be the Christian that I say I am, then how? How is it gonna ride me every night? If I'm a preacher, if I'm a believer of this word, if I'm out here testifying and telling people about the goodness of God, but I can't get a hag above me, that's like me saying I'm a doctor, but I always got a cold. Hold up, brother. You healing the sick and doing great surgeries and you can't kick a cold? That's all. A hag is like the minimal little imp ever. A little, he can't even get on you till you sit down, lay down, and go to sleep or something. Come on, man. So we got to, if we're gonna walk in power, then walk in power. We can't sing these songs and talk this. Oh man, now you got it working, but we're gonna be cool, comfortable tonight. Thank you. But we can't talk this church talk and then sit on live. Come on, yeah, have you riding me? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All this powerful Bible study, 200 plus people watching us. When we come on, you know what I'm saying? We gotta make the connection of what we're saying and how we're living. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to make the mistake of accepting something because we've been first of all we've been saying too long, right? You know what I'm saying? We've been preaching too long. Everyone at this table has preached at one time or another, from Darmaine on up. Even little man here closes us out. He know enough to know how to close out a service. He know enough to get up and can give a better testimony than some adults. So we can't be in that kind of power and then turn right around in the same breath and say, yeah, that hag you riding me too. To me, that's like somebody preaching against the sins of alcohol and smoking, and then I catch him in the parking lot puffing on the cigarette. You know, this nicotine thing got me. How you mean? You know what I'm saying? So we gotta come at this, and somebody might be listening and say, man, it's just a hag, it ain't that serious. Okay, you could say it ain't that serious, but it is. And if we don't take the simple things serious, how are we gonna conquer the big things? That's my point. I take everything about it serious. That's why when it comes to the little things, I'm impressed by God, by the little things. Of course, He's gonna bless with cars and homes and houses and blah 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 blah. But I'm impressed when we went to get a truck that I couldn't feel like I couldn't afford more than a 20-foot, and I got the 26-foot by God's grace without paying the extra down, and I needed that 6 feet to the inch. To the inch. God knew I needed 6 more feet. Who else knew I needed 6 more feet? Now, I didn't know I needed 6 more feet. I figured I was gonna make it happen with the 20, because that's where my money could go. God said, don't worry about the money. We thought we were gonna try to get a 5x10 stolen. But God gave us a 10x10 for the same money of the 5x10. And y'all were there. We put the stuff in and it's like, man, okay. Because God knows what we need. If I'm serving a God like that, and if I say, Jesus, I don't want this thing on me no more, why would he not do it? If I say, Jesus, I need this, why would he not do it? If I say, Jesus, when we were coming up here 2 years ago, we came up here, we were all up and through Goose Creek and Somerville looking for a house. But we said, you know what, we're going to settle for this townhouse for now. You know, put up what we got, wash and dry and all that in the shed. And here we are 2 years later in a house that we're preparing to buy. Only God. In God's time. And this is the kind of God we serve. I don't want to serve your God if your God can't even hand off you. That's how I would feel. If I'm, you know what I'm saying? If I'm the average Joe Schmo, and you telling me about the goodness of God, and then I start talking about hags, and you right down here with me telling me, man, them hags is something else now. I'm be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing my thing till I find somebody that really got that power that y'all singing about. Because you're singing power, Lord, we talking about power from on high, we talking about all the things God can do, but when we going to listen, you see what I'm saying? Pay attention to these instances like this and remind yourself of these conversations when things go wrong in your life and you can't figure out why. When things be missing and you can't figure out why. Because the word of God tells us that we're not going to get in without a spot or wrinkle. This is a wrinkle. This is a wrinkle in your garment that you can't get over. This is a spot that might be in the middle of your back that you can't see, but you think you good. You ever see somebody come out the bathroom and toilet paper hanging from there? And they think they're good, but you looking at them from the back, you're like, oh man, they need to fix that. Women come out and they done heist their drawers up and catch the back of their skirt. And from the front, they look good. But from the back, he was jacked up.
That's nice to know.
Ice him out. We don't, and that's what the church looks like. When we singing all this power, collecting all this money, and we got all these great cathedrals and temples, but we'll sit in conversation and be dogged by these simple little things. Your drawers is high up, and your skirt is tucked in your drawers. And you need to fix that. But y'all understand what I'm saying, right? So, and it's not that we're pointing out these things to make anybody feel bad, but we're pointing out these things so you know what? Instead of me trying to go to God for all these material things, maybe I need to get tightened up in this little area that make me feel like the devil can have his way when I'm sleeping. The devil can't have no authority over me when I'm sleeping or when I'm dead. Because the word tells me that. So, no. When I say, when I call on these, no, I put it this way. When I really understood the power of God, that's when the heart had stopped right. And he wrote me since, that might have been in my late teens, early 20s, maybe. And I was about to be 50 in October. So I don't even remember. And I laid in bed with a hang, eyes wide open. And can't sit up, can't roll over, can't nothing. So it's real.
You trying to call me?
I even know, man. It's real. But when I got to understanding what God is and who God is, yeah. So when I tell y'all my scripture is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, that is my life. I live that. There's nothing I can do. Now, I just told my wife about something I was going to hire somebody to do. I said, don't worry about it. I got it. Because God had already started showing me how to do it. So it is what it is. We got to stand on the word. We got to stop singing the song, but live the song. You know what I'm saying? We got to stand on the word. We got to be who we say we are. We have to step up. We have to step up. I heard sometimes I hear say, you know, why I gotta do this? Or they expect me to do this. Yeah, because who we are. Look how long we've been running with God. I think maybe just when he was going to church your whole life.
Yeah.
She's the only one I wasn't sure about. I know everybody else been running with God forever. Even when we didn't know, we still had to go to church. Even when we didn't know nothing about it, didn't really want to be there, but we done been in and around some services, some moves of God throughout our life. So we don't want to be the children of Israel to see all these miracles and then get out in the wilderness and complain and call yourself a wander till you die off. You know, we done studied that. We know God could have got them people straight to the land, but he had to let them jokers die off because there was so much weakness in the camp. There was so much weakness that he was killing them by the thousands, trying to prune the bush. Just wiping them out, left and right. So we don't want to be that part of the children. I want to be the part that niggas. I want to be the part that's bold enough to say, yeah, they big, but my God bigger. Yeah, they look like giants, but my God bigger. We going on in there. Why? Because God gave it to us. And God, like that's why I keep telling y'all, it's so much more for everybody at this table than what's going on. There's so much more. When my wife really, that's why she be so pressed about the for women's only, because that's her personal thing that God gave her. And when you're that passionate about it, when you get back on it and do it the way she really, because in her heart and in her mind, she is big to her. So she can't halfway do it. That's how I feel about any broadcast I do. I can't halfway do it. I can't not set up the tripod. I can't not go live. I can't not use the HD camera. Because God has blessed me with these things. And I want it to be the best that it can be. You got to find out what it is that your ministry is about, that you can pull yourself into, so God can really start blessing you. You don't want to be just going along with the amens and then go home. Amen, 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 and then go home. You got to find out what it is that you're supposed to be doing and do it. It's a lot of people just in church and ain't doing nothing. Ain't helping their soul. Riding back and forth to church every service by themselves in their one little car. Ain't even picking nobody up. Ain't going nowhere after church to help nobody. Ain't putting no fruit basket together. Ain't checking on it. Ain't doing nothing for a soul. But in their heart and mind, they believe they're going to make it in. How? You ain't got no works. All the faith in the world, no work. Faith without work is dead. That's you got a Bugatti in the driveway and you ain't got no money for gas. Who good is that? Only thing you do is take selfies with it. That's it. Lean, poke out your mouth and take pictures. You can't go nowhere. And it ain't gonna help you. Evacuation come right now, you in that Bugatti. You be calling around to my hey, y'all going to Atlanta? Is that what we're doing us? We're trying to evacuate. People that didn't go to our church, didn't go to our church, somebody never even been, but they was ringing our phone. All the people that came with us all had family. They all had family. But you know what? Did we mock them? Did we turn them down? No. Okay, come on, we leave it out. If you get it, come on. Let's go. Because that's what we're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, to me and my wife, it wasn't even a second thought. We didn't even have to discuss it. You get off the phone and say, oh, so-and-so gonna meet us. Okay, no problem. Let's go. Why? Because we live in this thing for real. When I'm listening to this Bible study, when somebody like David has already been through the fire, he done made his mistakes. He done know he up in age now. he got to set this thing in because I done ran my course. I'm about to Paul up out of here. I'm about to finish the race. So let me just give my little instructions, whether they follow them or not. I'm gonna lay down the law and I'm going. This man has already know who he is. He's already ran his race. His place is solidified with God. So however death comes, fine. But I'm gonna make sure I'm doing what I gotta do till God call my name. So yeah, I don't understand retiring. But if God tell me sit down, I'm gonna sit down. If God tell me shut up, I'm gonna shut up. Some of us we don't want to hear the word retiring, but if that's the word they want to use, if God said so, fine. Don't bother me at all. I wouldn't waste the whole conversation worrying about what they're gonna do and their retirement, and they going fishing every day. Is they still gonna come to church or they quitting on church altogether? I got nothing to do with it. I'm too busy working to worry about what somebody else does. There's too much work in the vineyard. I don't go around looking on other people's Bible studies to see how they handle the Bible study. I just sit down and have Bible study. I don't even go back to see what they got going on or what their comments are. Only thing I look at to share with y'all sometimes is the views, so y'all can know people pay attention to what we do, so we can make sure we're doing what we do to the best of our ability. Even when we answer questions, we try to answer to the best of your ability. And if you don't know, it's okay to say, I don't even know. It's okay. Because we want to be real, because that's when we can be effective. It's the only way. Too many people are trying to use social media as a means to become famous. So they're looking at what everybody else do. Because why? They're trying to figure out how to become famous. That's why they watch as much as they watch and look at and pay attention to everything everybody else is doing. I'm not trying to do that. We're not trying to do that. We're here for the people that don't know, that are unsure, that are shaky in little areas. I want those people that still got the hand right here so I can help them. I want the people that still got issues so I can help you understand how to solve and where to solve and where the answers are. We gotta want to do that. If we're gonna help somebody, you gotta want to help them. That's why the evacuation is not a problem. That's because we wanted to help. So yes, I was stressing, but it wasn't a stress like I was about, man, I'm about to quit. No, it was stressing because I am concerned about people that God put under my watch. I'm concerned. And it wasn't just a sleeping situation. I was concerned all day, every day, because I wanted to make sure everyone had something to eat, everyone was well rested, everyone was okay. And we had every age group with us. We had hand babies all the way up. So yeah. And then I was more surprised by other leaders being surprised that I brought them with us. What was I supposed to do? Leave them? Yes. Anyway, I can help you with it. That's not what we do, because I am easily to put myself in someone else's position. Where I think about it all the time in situations. I say, what if it was me? And I'm not close to my family, and a major Cat 5 hurricane is coming. And I have no idea, no direction in which to go. It wasn't just the fact they had no arrangements. They didn't have no arrangement. They didn't have a safe place to go to. So we were able to open up our little bit we had, little bit of room we had, or our patience, or our kindness, not for a reward from them, but for a reward from God. I wasn't looking for no return from them, but I wanted God to be pleased with me. So many people pick up the title but put down the mission. You got to realize it's not the title, but it's the mission that's in there. If y'all were still calling me Brother Derek, I still will be the person I am, because the apostle don't make me do what I do. I do what I do because of all that God has done for me. And we all know I don't even need to go through my resume, but all that God has done for me, I can't help it to help people to get up every morning and try to brighten somebody's day, try to put a smile on somebody's face, laugh and joke, and play music and make somebody feel a little bit better. I don't know what kind of night they had, but I get up every morning and try to do the best show that I can do and be who God is calling me to be. Amen.
But okay.
Never had to add situation, but I have a spirit that people sort of refer to them as ghosts, but I knew it was a spirit. But it's like every time I was walking out, things start happening. But my grandma was just sitting there like, "You don't stop throwing stuff around my house, you have a problem." She thought. Now one night, I went in the kitchen and the dish broke. The cabinet broke, and she thought it was me just being mad. And I was like, "Nah, I wasn't mad at anything. I didn't do anything. Like, I didn't walk in the house." And going back to what Paul said, you gotta get sick and tired of being sick and tired. It was like the one night I was in my grandmother's house. I just came out the bathroom, and my grandma don't like no lights on at all. Like she didn't do no lights at night. So when I came out the bathroom, I cut the light off, and the first thing that happened, I seen like a dark figure down the hall. The next time I was in my face and was pushing. And I just fell. I instantly fell. And when I just got up, and that's when I remember when, I don't know if it was Apostle Legre or Bishop Legre, but I know they were telling my mother, they were like, "You need to anoint the house and put the cross over your door." And I was like, "Man, bump that. She might have already did it. I'm about to put 2 on me right now. I got to pray this out to her." And when I actually started praying, I haven't felt that spirit since, or how y'all want to term for that. I haven't seen it myself since, but at that time, that's when I realized that spirits were actually real and that it can actually create a difference in your life. At that time, I was young. I didn't really care about spirits. I didn't really care about going to church. I was going to my mom. I felt like my mom was making me go. I was young. I didn't. I mean, I knew about God, but at the time I wasn't trying to focus on God. Like it wasn't a part of me like how it is now. It was like once that happened, it was like, oh yeah. That's when I actually got into what the Bible says. So, like Paul said, you gotta get tired. You gotta get sick and tired of being sick and tired. We'll get to that from church.
Yeah. All right. If nobody else have anything they have to say.
So, my uncle, when he got sick, he decided to pass his church down to someone else, and he still did preach every now and then. Would that be considered like retiring, or?
If he was sick and he passed it along, he had somebody there that was capable of taking it over and running it. And like I said earlier, sometimes when we sick and our body just ain't with it be days and we like, I ain't with it. And then you say he preached every once in a while. That probably was his good days when he felt like, okay, I can do this. I can get up and I can preach. So it's just like, he felt like he had somebody that was capable of going ahead and running on with, the vision that God gave for that ministry. So that's what he did. It's really good thing. But if nobody else has anything else that they want to say, we thank God for the first chapter in First Kings. And we just thank God, for the things that are taking place. I don't know if I'm going to have Bible study again, but if I do, just know that we're going back in First Kings, and we're going to be going to the second chapter. I didn't really see how long they were to see if we're going to go to 200 or we're just going to do 2 if I have it again. Yes, sir. If we have it again, we're gonna go back, into the book of Kings. Y'all feel free to go ahead and read up on it. When you read up on it, we got a whole week before we meet again. So if you read up on it, we'll have a phenomenal discussion. Everybody will have something to say. So, Brother Darmy, read up on First King. You're in the second chapter. We're gonna be in the second chapter. So I call you because you're not in the church group. So when we pass the messages, you don't know. So you didn't know until I told you when I got here that we were going to get First King. So everybody read up on it, and even if you want, back up a little bit in Samuel and see what was going on that led up to where we are in First Kings. But we just thank God for everything that is taking place. We thank God for Bible study and the opportunity just, to be in the number one more time. I'm grateful. We're grateful. I'm grateful for the things that God is doing for His people. We probably don't thank God enough, for the things that He does. And even if it's something that we consider small, it's probably a big thing in the sight of God. We gotta just learn to give God thanks for the big and the small things. And it's like the Bible says, when we faithful over few things, He'll make us rule over many. When we're grateful over the little things, He'll be so happy to bless us with bigger things. And remember, when God begins to bless you with things, He begins to open up doors for you to have this and have that, or to gain this and gain that. You got to still be, do the right thing with it. Still know how to treat people. Still make sure you first. Still make sure that, you're handling your business the right way. Because a lot of times God will bless us with things and we'll begin to act funny. We begin to treat people differently. We begin to think that we're better than other people. So in your blessing, remain humble, and don't forget, where you came from. So I just thank God for everything. I give God all glory, honor, and praise for just what He's done. And before we dismiss, I did say, because when I was at work today, I said I was gonna put it in the church chat text. But since we don't hear, I say, I just want to know what's going on with the praise teams. Nobody danced in a while, a long while. I didn't say nothing because I said I'm just gonna see how long nobody's gonna dance. Nobody's gonna say. Nobody don't mention it. Nobody don't say nothing. I don't know if Apostle set y'all down. He didn't tell me nothing. So I just wanted to ask, what's going on with the practices and praise teams. Arjani already tell me she don't really want to dance no more. So, when people get grown and they want to do their thing, it is what it is. So,
Before we answer that, let's go ahead and close out with whatever announcements we have. Turn them off and then instead of taking this.
all right. But Sunday is
Heritage Sunday.
no, it's third Sunday. That's right. It's third Sunday. It's Youth Sunday and it's Father's Day. So go celebrate your daddies on Father's Day. But we thank God for everything that's being there. So we're going to be dismissed if nobody else has anything to say. We're going to stand and we're going to ask Sister Jasmine to dismiss us. Look at TJ looking at me. Go ahead and dismiss us. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent, one from another. In Jesus' name, amen. You look at me and say,